The Good Samaritan. Once upon a time, in a bustling village filled with friendly faces and busy streets, there was a kind and generous man named Jacob. Jacob loved to help his neighbors and always had a smile on his face. One sunny morning, Jacob decided to take a trip to the nearby town of Jericho. As Jacob walked along the winding, dusty, and rocky road, he dreamed of meeting his family in Jericho. The path was met with many people, including merchants selling and traveling from various places. The sun cast a hot, bright glow on everything it touched. However, not long into his journey, Jacob was suddenly attacked by a group of robbers. They took all his belongings, beat him badly, and left him lying by the side of the road, badly hurt and unable to move. The once busy road now seemed frightening and lonely. As Jacob lay there in pain, a priest happened to be traveling down the same road. The priest saw Jacob, but decided to pass by on the other side, pretending not to notice. He was in a hurry and didn't want to get involved. A little while later, a Levite came along the road. He too saw Jacob lying there, but he also chose to ignore him and continued on his way. He thought it was too dangerous to stop and help. Finally, a Samaritan traveling on his donkey came down the road. Now, Samaritans and Jews didn't usually get along, but this Samaritan was different. When he saw Jacob, his heart filled with compassion. He immediately went over to help him. The Samaritan carefully cleaned and bandaged Jacob's wounds using the oil and wine he had with him. Then, he gently lifted Jacob onto his own donkey and slowly made his way to a nearby inn, ensuring Jacob was as comfortable as possible during the journey. When they arrived at the inn, the Samaritan took great care of Jacob, making sure he had everything he needed to recover. The next day, he gave the innkeeper some money and said, "Please take care of this man. If his expenses go beyond what I've given you, I'll pay the rest when I return." Jacob was overwhelmed with gratitude. He couldn't believe a stranger had shown him such kindness, let alone a Samaritan. This act of mercy and compassion taught Jacob an important lesson. True neighbors are those who show kindness and love, no matter who they are or where they come from. And so, Jacob healed and returned home, forever changed by the Samaritan's kindness. He shared his story with everyone he met, spreading the message of love and compassion. The village was inspired, and people began to help each other more, creating a community filled with kindness. From that day forward, the lesson of the Good Samaritan lived on in the hearts of all who heard it, reminding everyone that kindness and compassion are the true marks of a good neighbor. We ought to love everyone, including our enemies. It is easy to love friends and family, but it is much more difficult to love those who we may not get along with, or even those who may harm or hurt you.